Hello, this is Coach Jonny Carter of the Chicago Fire. Got another English Premier League opinions piece for world-class coaching. So, no Premier League games this weekend, but doesn't mean that there's nothing to talk about. The transfer window was closed. I'm not a big fan of it going into the season before it closes, but that's a situation that we've got all the same. Some transfers went through, some absolutely did not. Where does that leave you and your club? Well, let's talk about some of the transfers that didn't go through. Perhaps the biggest one of all, I think, is Alexis Sanchez. Arsenal had this very difficult situation. He's by far their best player, but he clearly wants to leave. Probably didn't want to sell him to a Premier League rival in Manchester City, but they have a disgruntled player on their hands. No money to invest in other players, and they've still got him. Didn't manage to offload, didn't manage to replace, haven't got the money. Terrible situation. I think if you got Alexis Sanchez playing on top form, he's an asset to your team, no doubt about that. But what will Arsenal get out of Alexis Sanchez now? He clearly wanted the move. I think that's fair to say. The move didn't happen. What are they left with? And that's a situation I think a number of clubs are also facing. We have Ross Barkley at Everton, has made clear overtones that he wanted to get out of the club, didn't sign a very lucrative contract. Not sure anybody really came in for him in the transfer windows. Maybe Chelsea was the only ones. The deal didn't go through. So what does that leave? So Everton fans, maybe you can tell us your thoughts on it. Can you welcome back these rogue players? Or do you have to throw them out the club altogether? It's interesting. Someone like Ross Barkley, I think, could help an Everton football club. But will they welcome him back? I do not know. He might have burned those bridges. Not the only one. Mr. Virgil van Dijk of Southampton clearly wanted a move, clearly wanted to go to Liverpool. I think it was fair to say Southampton dug the heels in. The transfer didn't go through, and it hasn't happened. So he's yet again still there, rogue player at a club. Any Southampton fans, what are your thoughts on that? Can you integrate a player, which I think Southampton clearly would like to have Virgil van Dijk back into their starting 11, but can you accept the player back in after their behaviour? Clearly wanted to go, still there. I don't think I would be able to welcome a player back if I was the coach. I don't think that as a supporter, as a fan of a club, I'm happy about a player who clearly wanted away and now has no choice, has been stranded by the transfer window, hasn't gone anywhere, and now has to try and find a way back into the team. It's very difficult for me as a fan to give them the same appreciation as the other players who have been perhaps a little bit more loyal, perhaps a little less greedy. You have the Diego Costa, which is ongoing. Haven't managed to offload him. He's still a bit of a bogey for Chelsea. Something I really think that they could try to remove, try to get rid of, try to resolve that situation. Results on the field have been going pretty well for Chelsea even after their bad start, so maybe they won't miss Diego Costa as much. But again, what's going to happen? Is he going to come back and play? Unlikely. Is he going to stay in Brazil? What's going to happen with that situation? Is anybody going to buy him? You're talking about Atletico Madrid, but really, do they want such a rascal on their hands? I'm not so sure. Mahrez from Leicester. Again, he's played for Leicester, so not quite a rogue player, but I think clearly wants away. Didn't get the transfer, staying at Leicester. So we've got a number of these guys. What do you think as a supporter of those clubs? Can you welcome those players back? Have you had to throw them away? Do you think that they can come back into the fold? Can the coach reintegrate them into the players? What is the perspective of the other players? What is the perspective of the fans? So let us know a few of your thoughts on that. Particularly the Alexis Sanchez one, I think, is the most interesting of all. But maybe the one transfer that was bigger than all of those transfers put together, mainly due to the length of it's been in the media, is Philippe Coutinho. Again, clearly I think wanted away. The comments from his Brazilian teammates when they went away on international duty would suggest that he wanted to go. Handing in a transfer request would suggest that he wanted to go, and Liverpool were very, very stoic in their opinion that they were not going to sell. Coutinho's position is now a little bit odd because Liverpool have started very well, but there's no doubt about it that they, I'm sure, would like Coutinho to come back into the team, come back to the club for the immediate present and into the future. I think he's going to be an important player to them, particularly that I don't think they have a large number of high-quality players in the advanced areas of the field. So I think Coutinho would be a player that they would welcome back. And I think Liverpool's the sort of club where they will welcome him back, no matter what his behaviour has been, transfer request tears that we're reading about from his Brazilian teammates, I still think that Liverpool will be able to welcome that player back, and I think that's a situation that is going to get resolved for the benefit of Liverpool Football Club. Again, any Liverpool fans out there, let us know your thoughts. Do you bring Coutinho back in? Are you sad you didn't get that huge amount of money for him, which you could have invested in very important areas? A little bit criminal, Liverpool did not sign a central defender, maybe two of them, maybe even a goalkeeper, maybe even two of them as well. So some problems perhaps at the back for Liverpool to come. So if you got any thoughts on it, let us know. Some of the clubs there did quite well in the transfer window. So some of the transfers that did manage to come through, Liverpool again, Oxlade-Chamberlain. I thought that Liverpool would be maybe third or fourth, perhaps before the transfer window. Now that they've signed Oxlade-Chamberlain, I'm certain that they'll only finish fourth. They're not going to be Premier League champions. I don't rate Oxlade-Chamberlain as a player that is going to turn Liverpool into an also-ran club, into a Premier League winning club. I think they needed more. I think they needed better. I don't think they've managed to secure that in the transfer window. Tottenham, Spurs fans out there, again, I think you guys needed one or two more almost electric players up top. As good as Eriksen has been for club and country at the start of the season, I do not see him maintaining that form all the way through the season. He's going to get tired, he's going to get injured, he's going to get suspended, and I'm not sure that they have the depth to replace him, particularly with the increased intensity of games that they are going to play. I think they needed more in that position. I think Llorente is a good addition, so we've got a little bit of help for Harry Kane there, but I think that they still needed more. So again, not a great transfer window for Tottenham. They did okay. I don't think they did spectacularly well, that's for sure. But who was the worst in the transfer window? I think it has to be the shambles that is Arsenal Football Club right now. They haven't managed to resolve the Alexis Sanchez problem. It's gone on all the way to the end of the transfer window. I don't understand why they haven't got their business done early. Manchester City, Manchester United did a lot of their business early on, and I think that they're at the top of the table because of it. They've had the pre-season, they've had the settled team, they've had the time for the players to integrate, and that's shown. I don't think Arsenal have brought any players in of any quality. I don't think that they've integrated them particularly well. They still have this situation. Mesut Ozil, Oxlade-Chamberlain has gone, Sanchez as well. There's a lot of uproar about Wenger, as great as he has been in the past. It certainly hasn't been for the recent history, and it doesn't look good at Arsenal Football Club. So probably the worst transfer window for Arsenal. Who perhaps had the best transfer window? Maybe Leicester City, I think. I like a couple of the players that they brought in. Harry Maguire, particularly in the centre of defence. I think West Bromwich Albion have had a pretty decent transfer window as well. But now it's all closed. We will see who will be able to get their squad settled as quickly as they can, who's going to start to rise up the Premier League, who's going to continue under the cloud that some of these clubs are operating under at the moment, who's going to start going this way and who's going to start dropping down. So the Premier League games start up again next weekend. I'm personally looking forward to it. Now that this squads have been settled, we'll see who's going to start to make the charge at the top of the table. So once again, guys, if you have any opinions, maybe your club, about other clubs, about specific players, about the transfer window as a whole, please, we want to hear from you. So jot down some comments, let us know your thoughts. So thanks very much, guys, and we'll catch up soon. Goodbye now.